Good morning, Americans. This is your favorite alien and Bull Moose Bubba. Today on Wednesday, September 9th, 2020. Sitting in for Paul Harvey this morning. Stand by for the rest of the story. Well, Americans, Mr. Harvey always compared you to Rome. And he had some parallels there. But the more I'm doing research since I've been on this planet, and the more that I've found out with the research that I had from 2060 from my home planet about you, I would have to compare you to Teotihuacan. And you are a nation at war with itself. And that's what happened to the Teotihuacan. Let me explain how I came up to this confirmation here. Because a lot of you are saying, say, what? Who? What? And Mr. Harvey up there, if you're hearing me, you'll understand this. If you look at Teotihuacan, it's got one pyramid of the sun and a pyramid of the moon and a big long street that goes and connects the two straight downward. You look at Washington, D.C., and it's got Pennsylvania Avenue. And who does it connect? Well, it connects the White House on the south. Then you go north on Pennsylvania Avenue and you get to the Capitol, where you got those disgusting Democrats and Republicans in the Senate and in the House. Ugh. That's a stink place over there. Anyway, the White House needs fumigation too because Trumpy Dumpy's in there. But other than that, everybody didn't know nothing about Teotihuacan for a long time. Even when Mr. Harvey was here, it's not in the last 11 years, Mr. Harvey, since you passed away, that they've come out with some interesting things about Teotihuacan. I knew that all along, and I've been telling people since I've been here, but you guys have not been listening to me like you have in the last 3 years. I've been called a quack and everything else. But here's the thing. Teotihuacan is unique because, like the United States, it was never ruled by kings or emperors. And then they said, well, who ruled it? Well, my suggestion is, and to give you an example to correlate where you guys are, those of you who like science fiction and who have watched Babylon 5 and know about the Minbari, remember they had a caste system that ruled their planet. You had a religious caste, you had a warrior caste, and you had a commercial caste. No people caste, okay? And that seems to be what happened in Teotihuacan. There was these castes. And when it started, the religious caste seemed to have the better hand. So therefore you created these monstrosity pyramids up there, and it kept the people in order. They had some sort of law and order for most of their existence, because everything was hunky-dory, even though it was unequal. Because you had people that lived outside the city center about a mile, and they were bad, disgusting. Shantytown, you would call it today. Same as if you go outside Washington, D.C., and outside Pennsylvania Avenue, you got Georgetown or big bad areas of town. And I believe that the people were not allowed to go into the city center from the outside. There was a lot of commerce, and then something happened in the first couple hundred years that the city was there. It found that it had a rich source of wealth, obsidian, which is a glass. It's a very fragile glass, but a very dangerous, especially in weapons. You ever seen an obsidian knife cut through the hardest thing? Not even a steel knife can cut as good as an obsidian knife can. Imagine that as a weapon. Can chop a guy off and nothing flat. I mean, really. If you ever seen an obsidian sword, whoo, I've seen a few. And you had a lot of partners that wanted that, So your city grew from small to maybe 200,000 at the end. Well, to make a long story short here, the people that were outside, the shanty people, couldn't take it anymore after a couple hundred years, say like 600 or so, and they went into the city center and destroyed it. Just like you guys are destroying the city centers all over the nation and going and putting Black Lives Matter down the street of Washington, D.C. here. That is exactly what happened to Teotihuacan. And that kind of thinking with those people when they destroyed and the city was abandoned. You had other civilizations like the Mayas and the Toltecs. The Mayas were a very up civilization. They weren't as big as the Teotihuacans, but they were all over the place. They had a bigger territory. And 250 years later, they ceased to exist because these people from Teotihuacan probably went over there with their way of thinking, where is my due? And they didn't have dues over there. Same as you African Americans and other people. Where's my due? Yeah. So it's going to cost you. This is your favorite alien. And Boo Moose Bubba. This is just a short history of it. But I can tell you. But Mr. Paul Harvey, if you're listening, this is a good example of what's going to happen to you. Sitting in for Paul Harvey, this is your favorite alien and Boo Moose Bubba. Good day.